So in talking about the Son of Solomon sung as a different kind of David, yesterday was a great day for me. I'm in Houston, Texas right now, the Pearland area. And yesterday I worked on getting my track listing together. You know what I mean? It's 19 tracks long. I thought it was going to be shorter, but I'm such an artist. I'm one of those people who, and I'm sure other artists do this too. You think about what you want to include, what you don't want to include, for whatever purpose. You know what I mean? You're going for the hits with the radio. You're going for Billboard charts, which those may or may not coincide. You're going for street cred. You're going for lyricism, going for whatever. I go for the whole artistic expression and sound as it sounds to my ear. I know what I want to put out there. Maybe there's an album I'll do where I'm really focused on what people want to hear and how I want to blend the two. So when it came time to picking beats for this, I've gone through it a couple of times, and I was in Shreveport when I initially started the idea for the project. Literally I was house sitting for my sister, house and dog sitting for my sister, and that turned into me sitting at her dining room table and having an experience. It was a phone conversation that, you know, when I got off the phone, it triggered. I'm gonna do an album called A Different Kind of David, and I was working on the cover art. So that's really where it came from, the cover art. I was just putting graphics together, and just as a title, I do that. Sometimes I'll come up with a concept of cover art and a title and go, okay, I'm gonna do an album from this. The Feverish Analysis, and I'm just gonna show the difference. The Feverish Analysis didn't start out as an album. Or a cover art. It started out from I hit a particular sample from a beat I had done before, pitched down. Jolting Discrepancy is the song. Boom, do dum dum. That's a loop. Boom, do dum dum dum. Boom. I was like, oh shit. So that just turned into me making that beat. I got a rhyme to it. Okay, let's put another one together. Let's put an album together. So it started with a sample. An album came out of a sample, if you will. From if you look at it on the long end of it. When I was approaching the David album, I already had half of the beats. Half of the beats that are on this album were already done initially. You know what I mean?
Brought to you by Speaking in Tongues, Mysteries Without Misfire. It's not a religious activity. It's a power experience. Available on Amazon Kindle and www.theroyalpriest.com.
And so what I did was I came to Houston right after that. When I left my sister's house, I came to Houston and I made what is the Creature of Habit beat. And that changed the sound. It augmented the sound of the beats. The beats were originally going to have you'll hear it on the album too, have like a Mediterranean, East African type of sound to it. Or we'll just say African. I was dealing with some Ethiopian music. I was dealing with some Indian, getting more into Middle Eastern. There's a bunch of diversity of sounds. I got a playlist that I've got a bunch of different music on. So I was exploring that. When I did the Creature of Habit beat, the Creature of Habit beat is also a resample from on my Prophet and the Prophet. Just tell you I can't tell you what the sample is, but I can tell you where it is on other records. On the Prophet and the Prophecy album, track 2 is And Suddenly Through the Back Door, which is also going to be on A Jazzy or Wet Dream. Another project I have that I'm working on. That same sample is what makes up A Creature of Habit. That don't. You hear it in there. I made that beat and I go, man, I gotta write to this. And it started coming. It's like, man, I want to include this, but it didn't fit the sound. I made a few more beats Shreveport, I go out to, in Houston, I go out to Baton Rouge, and it goes, okay, maybe, then it was like we're moving beats out. And then it became, okay, we're blending them together. And then we got fillers. And when you hear it, the album actually takes you on a roller coaster ride. Now, I've got a song in there that talks about a roller coaster ride, me being a roller coaster ride sexually. You know what I mean? That's a dope ass track too. The thrill may flail your wig off. And yes, there's always risk, miss. I'm a force some only thought exists. But what I'm offering you is a chance to witness the man, that shit go off. You know, it's crazy. I got such a history. I have such a good memory and such a documentation of things in my mind when I'm writing records. And that track was written in a parking lot behind a CC's Coffee in Baton Rouge. I was sleeping in my van. I got up that next morning and it just started coming.
Nasty on the beat.